Um, Listen, I've been seeing a lot of toxic stuff from the Undertale fandom, so I prepared an essay on why I hate the Undertale fandom. Alright, here it goes. So I'm going to be explaining why I hate the Undertale fandom. A fandom gone too far. Undertale is one of the most beautiful, creative, and emotionally resonant games ever made. Toby Fox built something small, all personal and powerful. A story about kindness, forgiveness, and choice that teaches empathy, yet somehow birthed the fandom that forgot what empathy even means. What started as a community of passionate players became an uncontrollable storm of obsession, toxicity, and gatekeeping. I'm not saying everyone in the Undertale fandom is bad, but the loudest parts of it, the ones that drown out everyone else out, are what turns something beautiful into something unbearable. And that's why, after years of seeing what it's become, I can honestly say I hate the Undertale fandom. And when Undertale was released in 2015, it was magical. The fandom was new, full of heart. Fan artists, writers, and gamers celebrated the story's message: mercy over violence, love over hate. Everyone was making theories, remixes, animations, for a moment. It felt like one big family. But as the fandom grew, that purely vanished. The bigger it got, the more people tried to own it, to define who's a real fan, and what's canon, in which ships, AUs, or headcanons were allowed. It stopped being about love for the game and started being about controlling others. And from there, everything spiraled. Gatekeeping is one of the most ugliest things in the Undertale fandom. If you say you like a certain character, someone will immediately attack you for interpreting them wrong. If you make an alternate universe, words, which is AU for short, that changes the story, or you're told it's not true to Undertale. If you don't follow the right fandom trends or ships, people gang up on you. How can a fandom built around a game about forgiveness be so unforgiving? Undertale literally preaches about understanding, yet its community acts like a war zone over the smallest opinions. It's ironic. The game tells you it's kill or be killed, but then shows you that's a lie. The fandom, though, they took that phrase and made it their motto. They treat difference like a threat instead of an opportunity to connect. There's a level of obsession in its fandom that's exhausting. People treat the game like a religion, which might sound funny, but it's true. Every frame of dialogue, every sprite, every sound effect has been analyzed and reanalyzed a thousand times. That kind of devotion can be great, except it turned the fandom into an echo chamber of interpretation and drama. And let's be honest, the constant flood of fan works, AUs, and ships got overwhelming, not because us fan creations are bad, but because there's too much noise and not enough of originality anymore. People copy what's popular instead of expressing their own ideas. It's like creativity got replaced by trends. The Undertale fandom loves to preach morality. Just like the game's characters do. Be kind, don't judge others. Pacifist route is the best. But then the same people who say that will harass others and send death threats over ships and cancel artists for small mistakes. There's this twisted moral superiority that runs deep, like and that some fans think they're more or pure because they support or the pacifist route because they understand the game better. They weaponize morality, turning the very message of the game into an excuse to hurt others. That's the ultimate betrayal of Toby Fox's message. Undertale was about compassion, even towards those who've done wrong, but the fandom uses compassion as a sword, not a shield. Fanships in alternate universes could have been something beautiful. A way for fans to explore or what if stories that express creativity. But in the Undertale fandom, they became war zones. People will tear each other apart over fictional parents. Sans X Frisk, problematic. Papyrus X Mettaton, unacceptable. People forget these are fictional characters from a pixelated RPG and act like you've committed a sin by liking the wrong ship. Even the AU creators, people who pour their hearts into making alternate versions of the story, get harassed as for existing. The very idea of creativity is punished until it fits it's the fandom's narrow view. Ironically, Undertale's whole concept is built around choice, but the fandom doesn't let you have one. Eventually the fandom turns into a place of toxicity. Eventually the fandom turned into a place full of anxiety and hostility. New fans get scared to speak. Artists hide their work. Writers censor themselves. Everyone walks on eggshells, but because any mistake, it could turn into a all-out post or a canceled thread. That's not a community. That's a battlefield. And when a fandom starts policing creativity, it dies from the inside out. People who once loved Undertale now associate it with drama and bullying. The same game that taught peace created in one of the most toxic online environments imaginable. Undertale taught us that you can always choose kindness. That's what made it special. But the fandom lost that message somewhere along the way. Instead of love, there's judgment. And instead of forgiveness, there's exile. The fandom became the exact opposite of what the game stood for. I think that's what hurts the most. Not just that the fandom is toxic, but that it betrayed the very soul of Undertale. It turned something that at once made me smile into something that made me sigh. That's why I hate the fandom. Not because I hate Undertale, but because I loved it. Loved it so much to watch its community destroy itself. For me, it's not just an abstract issue. I've seen friends bullied out of the fandom. I've seen artists give up because of the constant harassment. I've seen people accused of being problematic over headcanons or character designs. It's personal because Undertale once inspired me to create, to tell stories, to dream big. Now it feels like the same inspiration. It should got buried under noise and hate. When I think about the fandom, I don't see joy or community anymore. I see people fighting to prove that they're the real fans. Is while the rest of us just want to enjoy the story. That's not what Undertale is supposed to be. Despite everything, part of me still hopes for something better. Maybe someday the Undertale fandom will remember what made it special in the first place: compassion, creativity, forgiveness, and fun. Maybe fans will stop gatekeeping and start welcoming new voices again. Maybe people will realize that fictional disagreements aren't worth real world cruelty. But until the day comes, I'll keep my distance. Because sometimes walking away from a toxic environment is the kindest thing you can do for yourself and the message that the game tried to teach. So, in conclusion, love the game. I hate the fandom with a passion. Passion. No, I hate the fandom and with the passion of 1,000 suns. Undertale will always hold a place in my heart. Its music, story, and message changed lives, including mine. But its fandom became a mirror of everything in the game warned against cruelty, intolerance, and pride. So yes, I hate the fandom. I hate the Undertale fandom with every passion inside my body. I hope everyone in the Undertale fit and them gets arrested for what they did into those poor creators. Not because I So yes, I hate the Undertale fandom. Not because I want to see it burn, but because I wish it could heal. Not because I despise the fans as individuals, but because I mourn what the community could have been. Undertale taught me to forgive, but also taught me to recognize when something's too far gone. And maybe that's the truest lesson of them all. Thank you, everyone. Bye.